110, 115, 89. Hi, I'm Paul, and this is The Golf Show. Hi everyone, I'm Paul Hemlin. Welcome to episode 13 of The Golf Show. On The Golf Show this week, I'm going to review the Garmin G80 Approach. It's a GPS device with an inbuilt launch monitor. I want to know what it can do, how good it is, and is it worth £400? I've already filmed the on-course review a few days ago, thankfully, because down here at Fulford today we've got a bit of a winter wonderland going on. So I didn't think I was going to get any filming done, but thankfully our head pro, Guy Wills, said I can finish my filming in his swing centre. So I'd like to give Guy a shout out for that. In fact, I'd like to give a shout out to all club pros. And I think it'd be great if we could get out there and support them, especially this time of year. I really hope you're enjoying watching the golf show as well, so if you can hit that subscribe button there, but also please turn on the notifications. When you turn on the notifications, that way you're going to see whenever we upload our weekly content and you're not going to miss anything. Okay, that's more than enough from me this week. Let's get on with the golf show. Today I'm going to review the Garmin G80 Approach. These cost £399. So again, it's going to be interesting to see how accurate a launch monitor that costs £399 is against something like the Quad. So we're going to try that out later in the episode. So first, let's open the box and see what you get inside. You've got the device itself. I really like the initial design. It looks pretty cool. In terms of size, it's smaller than my iPhone 12. Now I'm going to use this on my golf bag, so I attach the Garmin Carabiner that comes with it. That feels secure, I feel safe with that. And you've got the clip here. Now this holder, I'm not normally a big fan of plastic on plastic, but this slots in really nice. Nice solid clip, that is not going to drop out. You also get a USB cable as well for connecting it to your PC or for charging it. Okay, so let's turn it on and see what we've got. So let's go with start new round. It will search for the clubs nearest to you. You can also search by name. If we put Fulford in there, the men's tee. And there you've got the first hole. You've got distances to various bunkers. It allows you to put in how far you drive the ball. So for me that's about 245 yards, which is that line you can see there. And that's showing me what danger is at 245 yards. What you can also do, say you weren't going to take your driver off the tee, you can move it quite easily. And that's telling me that if I hit it 190, so say I hit my 5 iron, something like that, then that would leave me 215 into the flag. Down in this corner here you've got a little flag function, which once you press on that it takes you to the green. It then allows you to move the flag to where you think it is on the green. And as you get nearer the hole, I think when you get to within about 125 yards of the green, it then starts giving you this as the main screen, so you can then move the flag and give you a bit more information than just front, middle and back. So if you go into warm-up mode, this is where you get your launch monitor. You get estimated carry, club head speed, ball speed, smash factor and tempo. So we're going to try those out on the range later. I'm also going to try a comparison where I put this device that costs £399 head to head with the Quad, which costs £20,000, just to see how accurate this is. We've also got target practice. So this is where you can play against somebody else, let's say 2 players. You select the yardages you want. It would be nice if it had some kind of back button. I just feel like I'm pressing 2 or 3 buttons when I could just press one. If there was just a button there to take you back to the previous screen, I think that would be really helpful, a bit quicker. You've then got the virtual round functionality. So if we put in a course there, let's play with 1 player. Let's try search near me. Let's come up with Fulford. So this would be off the driving range, and it would allow you to play that hole virtually. So you could hit your driver, it would tell you how far you've gone, and then you'd hit your next shot into the green. This little dimple on the back here, well, the reason for that is when you're in launch monitor mode or on some of the practice modes, you just put that on top of a golf ball, sits really neatly, and then you put your club and the ball about a foot away, and then it's going to pick up the statistics from your shot. So again, we're going to try that out on the range, see how that goes. Okay, so we're inside now, thankfully, nice and warm in Guy Wills' swing centre at Fulford Golf Club. I'm going to test out the Garmin G80 in warm-up mode, which will tell me my distance in terms of carry and roll, my club head speed, the tempo of my swing and the smash factor. And I'm going to test that against Guy's GC2 with HMT, which costs well over £10,000. So let's see how accurate this £400 device is to the one that costs well over 10k. Okay, I'm going to start off with my 9 iron. Let's hit a few balls. Okay, it's saying 141 on the GC2, and it's saying 149. Oh, it's gone a bit left, I think. Yep. Obviously the Garmin won't give you any additional information such as swing plane, swing path, anything like that. But let's just have a look into this. The 135, 142 on the GC2, 136, 151 on the Garmin. It's a little bit closer. Now, I just want to try it with a Titleist Pro V1X ball instead of a cheap practice range ball. Already felt miles different off the club face. 136, carry 151 on the Garmin. 137, carry 144 on the GC. Didn't quite catch all of that one. 117, 130 total. 123, 131 total, so a bit more accurate there. One of the points I wanted to address in this review is a lot of people are saying the Garmin's not very good and it's not accurate compared to a £20,000 Trackman or GC Quad. But that's like comparing a Peugeot to a Ferrari. You know, you're paying £400 here. Is it going to help you for 400 quid? £400 is a lot of money. £400 is a new driver. So is it worth the investment? Well, let's carry on with the test and find out. Okay, that's saying 152 carry, 169 roll on the Garmin. 155, 164. So 5 yards out. I should be on the course today hitting it like this. 154, 171 on the Garmin. 157, 167 on the GC2. So 4 yards difference there. You might be thinking 4 yards is a big deal. Well, it can be, but you know, for an average golfer, are they really that consistent with their clubs? Is 4 yards going to make a lot of difference? Could this help your game? I'm starting to think it could. So let's hit a few with the hybrid. Get a bit of higher ball speed going. Okay, the Garmin is quicker. 202 carry, 225 total. GC Quad, 199, 211 total. Okay, now, I guess another factor here is, should we just be looking at the carry distance or should we be looking at carry and roll? Because different devices, I guess, could have different settings for roll. You know, if you're out there today at Fulford, it's freezing cold, it's going to be wet, you know, you're not going to get a lot of roll with your ball. So, you know, understanding your carry distance is really important. I'm wondering if some of the differences between the devices are due to the amount of estimated roll you get on the ball. Now the Garmin said it's been unable to calculate that data. It must be the shock of me absolutely hitting one out in the middle. Okay, 213, 200. What you need to do with the Garmin as well is have it about 1 foot from the ball. Okay, so that's nice and safe. If you do hit a you-know-what, you shouldn't be taking it out and damaging your equipment. Okay, let's finish up with a few from the big dog, see what we can do with this. Garmin saying 222 with a 246 total. Quad saying 240 with 260. Big difference there. Okay, so I hit quite a few shots there and got some mixed results. I thought it was pretty accurate with the shorter clubs like the 9 iron and moving into the 7 iron. With the hybrid and the driver, there was some bigger variances. The carry distances were better than the overall distances in terms of the comparison between the two. And I do wonder if that's because of the way that these devices calculate roll. Another thing to think about is, I know we all want to know how far we hit our clubs, but you've got to be using consistent stuff when you do that. If you're using one of these Shrixon range balls down your local driving range, these are really soft. Look at that, there's hardly any dimples on those, and this is a new one. You're going to get hardly any spin on one of those. It's not going to be great for your driver, and it might actually go further than a decent ball because it's not showing the spin, it's not getting the spin. So if you're working out yardages on a range using one of these, that might not help you when you actually get out on the course and start using a decent ball. So we're going to have a look at target practice, and we're going to have a look at there. So what you do with target practice, you pick some distances. So I'm going to pick 50, 75 and 125 yards, and then it's going to tell me to hit the ball there. Okay, I'm going to use the Titleist ball, 50 yards. I've got my hopefully trusty 56-degree wedge. 50 yards. Oh, looking good. Oh, just too strong. So that's saying, what was that? Did I say 65 on there? That's saying 70 on there. Okay, so too much. Bit higher that one, I think. Slightly higher flight. 57, 65, 61 on the Garmin. Now it's asking me to go for 75 yards. So I'm going to change to my gap wedge. Let's have a few at 75. Let's see how accurate this thing is for this. 66 on the GC, 64 on the Garmin. So again, pretty close. Last one at this one, not doing so well. 79, best effort. Yeah, oh, it's gone in the hole. It's gone in the hole on the Garmin. That's a neat little feature, quite like that. Okay, the next challenge is 155 yards. So that's going to be my 8-iron. Let's have a go at this. Nice smooth thing. Wow, not that miles left. Obviously the Garmin not picking up any off-centre hits offline. 154 there, 153. What I'm finding a bit frustrating with this Garmin is I like it, but it's a bit inconsistent. Sometimes it's within 1 or 2 of the GC, the next time it's within 6 or 8. So that's just beginning to frustrate me today. Okay, it's now telling me it needs to go 125. It's mixing it up a little bit. So let's go with the gap. Let's not go with the gap. That's not going to get there, is it? Where's the wedge? 125. So it's a little bit off the wedge for me. 125. $111 on the Garmin. The quad didn't pick that one up. Got my green light on the quad. Let's go again. 125. 114 on GC2, 112. So you see that one's pretty close. 112, 114, not a lot of difference there. Final shot at 125 now. Okay, 102 on the GC, 97 on the Garmin. So 5 yards difference there. I don't know, I really want to like this thing, but that's just, I feel like that's let me down a little bit. I really do like the way that this sits. You just pop it on a golf ball. I think that is really neat. You've got that little dimple there. Just sits on there. Pretty secure. I like that a lot. It's a good design. Okay, I want to give it one more chance now. I'm going to try a few more with a 5-iron. I've been a bit disappointed how this has worked with some of the longer shots. So my 5-iron should go about 200 yards. Let's see what we get on these two. Not picked it up on the Garmin, on the GC. 194. 185 total distance there with a 166 carry. 190 total difference with a 176 carry. So the carry was 10 difference, the total was 5 out. Okay, I'm not going to hit any more, but we can see some gaps there with the Garmin. I was really hoping that will be a bit more accurate than that. Okay, so today's test of the Garmin G80 Approach was done against the GC2 HMT launch monitor, which is an expensive piece of kit and really good technology. 2 weeks ago when I was down at Crossland Heath Golf Club with Chris Hansen, I got Chris to hit some shots where we compared the G80 against the quad, which is the latest technology that a lot of the tour pros are using. So let's go and have a look how this got on against the quad with a European tour player hitting the ball. I'm here at the academy at Crossland Heath Golf Club with European tour player and coach at the academy, Chris Hansen. And Chris is very kindly going to hit a shot for us today, and we're going to compare the Garmin G80 Approach in launch monitor mode against the quad. Obviously the Garmin costs just under £400, the quad is probably thick end of 20 grand. So I'm not expecting to see it as accurate, but is it in the ballpark? Is it good enough for somebody like me to go and use and to practice with? Okay Chris, over to you. Nice strike as you might expect.
Okay, so 94 174 club head speed on the quad, 90 club head speed on the Garmin. Ball speed on the Garmin 122 to 123 on the quad, so very, very similar there. In terms of carry, quad was 174 and Garmin 178, so it's not a million miles out, to be fair, Paul.
So on the 16th hole at Fulford, and we're going to test out the Garmin G80 Approach. Now, there's some really nice graphics on there, as you can see. And the Garmin's telling me that I've got 284 to the middle of the green, and it's a yellow flag, so we can see that's the middle of the green. I'm going to check it out my Bushnell first. 282. So the Garmin is about 3 or 4 yards different to the Bushnell. What I do like about this here, I'm going to play a hybrid here. I want to avoid this bunker, so I can touch the screen there, and it's going to tell me how far I hit the ball. So if my hybrid goes around here, let's say, that's going to leave me 51 yards into the hole. So let's hit the hybrid and see how we get on. Well, that's gone exactly where I wanted it to go. That makes a nice change. Let's go see what we've got going into the flag. Another feature I like with the Garmin is you can touch the screen with your gloved hand as well. A lot of sort of mobile phones, if you've got a glove on, they don't pick up the touch screen, but the Garmin does this really well. So the device is telling me I've got 90 yards to the middle of the green, but one of the features on the Garmin that's really neat is you can move the flag to whereabouts you think it is on the green. So this is telling me 83. Let's have a look with the Bushnell. 75, so I've not quite got that right. So that must mean the flag is about there. And that's a really clever feature, I think, because it's not just giving you front, middle and back. Okay, I've got 75 yards. Let's go with a gap wedge and see how we get on. Oh, in off the bank. Let's go and have a look at that. Another really impressive feature with the Garmin G80 is the battery life. Garmin say you'll get 15 hours out of this, which sounds a lot, but I've used this for 2 rounds, a couple of practice holes, a practice session, and in here today, and it's still at 66%. So that says to me you can play golf on Saturday, forget to charge it up, leave it in your bag, and it's still there for next week. Do I think the Garmin G80, which I do like, is worth £400? £400 is a lot of money. As a GPS device, it's excellent, the graphics are great, I loved it out on the course. I love the feature where you can move the flag onto the green. I think that gives you an advantage over a Bushnell or a rangefinder, because with that you can only see the flag, whereas this you can see when you've positioned it, you can see whether you're at the right hand side of the green, right by the edge of the green, maybe there's a bunker or a trap you can't see from where you're standing with your rangefinder, so I think that's really helpful. I've heard other reviewers say they use their rangefinder to get the distance and then this to look at the green. Well, I don't get that. I want one or the other. These are really expensive. I don't want to spend £300 on a rangefinder like a Bushnell and 400 quid on one of these. The graphics are great. The way it allows you to move where you're going to hit the ball up and down so you can see how far you've got, what layup you would have is very good as well. I was a bit disappointed with the practice and warm-up facilities on this, where it looked at club head speed and distances. Some were pretty good, especially with the shorter clubs, but it wasn't as accurate as a more expensive piece of technology, which you wouldn't expect it to be fair. I think what you need to do if you do get one of these is take it down the range, get 10, 15 balls that are all the same, hit those and take the average. And I think then you're gonna have something pretty accurate and pretty representative. Is it worth £400? I really like it, I like the design, but that is a lot of money. Right now, I'm gonna say it's not. I hope you enjoyed that review. I really came wanting to love this, I just like it. It's great, my son's going to use it for the GPS device and I'm sure we'll have some fun with it down the range, but you've just got to be aware it isn't as accurate as one of those. As we said, it was never going to be. You know, it is the Peugeot versus Ferrari analogy there. You know, it is good fun. If it was maybe 100 quid cheaper, I think it'd be excellent. You know, I really like the design, the way it sits on the ball. So have a think about that before you splash the cash. Okay, if you've liked this review, I would ask you to please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to turn on those notifications. Okay, let's see you next week on The Golf Show.